All right, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some medical schooling. We're going to talk about two different motivations. Okay? This is two different kind of drives. All right, and what we do see is what? We see underneath that on the right hand side, we see the schools and stuff. Private schools, universities, medical school, residency program, medical license. And then the end result is what? Money. And then what we have over here is we have abuse of alcohol and drugs, which are, the crack, the cocaine, the meth, the ecstasy, even these. We've got to quit saying that's the Lord's medicine when people die from the Lord's medicine. And you can't say, well, if they just take it right. He wouldn't put it out there to begin with. But underneath here, we'll say this is my story. This is my story over here. So, with the major abuse of alcohol and drugs, because see, where I'm at right now, all right, this is where I'm at in our present state, okay? This is what I'm studying now. I'm studying the nervous system, the endocrine system. I'm studying the different systems of the body, the vertebrae, studying the pineal gland, the pituitary body, the brain, the triune brain. You know how all that works together with the optic thalamus, the pneumogastric nerve, the vagus nerve, the medulla oblongata, the spinal cord, the sacrum, the vertebrae with T1 through T12, where the vagus nerve, where the pneumogastric nerve branches out from the brain. Brain, it branches out. And how all this stuff works together. Because when we go back, okay, we have to think about this. Because doctors were people who used to heal people at a point in time. So what we have is when these individuals, okay, when I look at this for what it is, we weren't taught about our anatomy. And when we're not taught about how serious the anatomy is, then we're going to abuse ourselves more, and some of us are going to not be able to handle what society is being pumped full of. And when this is being allowed, the destruction of the human body, like on purpose, the diet, the school food is horrible. Why don't every high school, think about this, what if every high school grew raw vegetables, whatever they could grow around their geographical location, and then they supplied it to the other schools, fruits and everything, stuff that's electric, plants and all that, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. That's the three main components, all of us that have life, plants, roots, trees, whatever it is. And when we consume that, that's electric because it comes from the ground implying what? Power. So we have the sun above our head powering earth, and we consume what's from the earth because we are electric. We're magnetic and we're electric. Our brains are. But they don't teach that in these schools right here or in just this hypothetical situation. For example, because around here we've got what? Macaulay, Baylor, and they're nothing more than a small university. To send those children there, they're going to have some ones there. They're going to pay good money to get their children there, but there's already children there generationally to learn some shit to go to another university in order to go somewhere and to bring in this communist state. That's a whole nother video. But because we all know 1,000 songs, you got to go back to the radio. Radio is raw, brain, branch, radio. And the first airwaves, the first you know, the people, the individuals, the beings, the spirits. The first things that they heard was nothing positive. It wasn't anything good. The first time that kind of technology was ever on Earth, nothing good came from it. It was all fantasy stuff, story time, space, and all that. There was never, it's like, this is called radio. We're going to teach y'all how to grow everything, hemp, cannabis, everything, and never get sick and all that stuff. Nope. We've got showtime. And from radio, they eradicated what saved my life, which is cannabis and hemp. Saved my life. And people ignore it, because all this right here is a product of the environment. And it is, because in the midst of all this was happening. Here we're going to give you some bipolar medication since you're mentally ill. You got bipolar, you got OCD, you got OCPD, you got insomnia, hypertension, high blood. No, I've got all that because of how I lived my life. I never really had a chance because, they got Michael Jordan out there drinking Gatorade, and that shit's not even good for you. And it's not. It's not water. Water is what we're made of. And the more that we drink the Gatorade and get away from water, boys, men, young men, they'll get urinary tract infections. And then you've got to go see the people that go through the schooling in order to write you prescriptions to get rid of your tract infection. Based off of, well, they drink it, because that's how it's designed. But when I'm looking at what I have, because I talk to a lot of people that have been here. See, this is where we are, is the people without this experience are the ones, the experts. And I know that this structure is made up. It's real, but it's not real. It's real in a sense of but treating people such as this, hypothetically, and many other things, lung cancer, brain, because everything we've been given is destroying us. It's killing us. They outlawed a plant, guys, in the same way that they drilled the plants. Bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. It's the same way. We're masked, we're masked, we're masked, we're masked, we're masked. Radio, technology. And what does the dumb people do? These people, you don't want to lose your career because you spend a lot of time in it. And I know the hospitals ain't lying to me. It's a ship. It's a ship. Let me explain that right now. All right? You get a good sense of that, don't you? All right. Remember, we're going to do this again. Here's the hospital. There's the hospital. All right, and this is water. This is the shoreline right here. There's a ship right here. It's got cargo and all that shit on it. This is a ship, all right? This is a hospital, even though this is land right here. This is land. This ship's on water. This ship has cargo. It's got cargo. The woman is carrying a baby. That equals cargo. It's cargo. The baby is in the womb. It's in water. That's the whole thing. The cargo on that ship's in water, but it's inside. It's on the ship. It's inside. The baby's inside. It's in the water, though. And what happens is we're under maritime admiralty law. So what happens when the ship comes in? It's going to dock. Why did I do that? It's going to dock at its birth. All right? The woman's going to go into the doctor to give birth. All right? Both. The doctor's going to write a birth certificate. All right? And then this authority is going to write a certificate as well. It's going to be a certificate of manifestation. That's a certificate of manifestation because it's birth. It's birth. It's birth. The cargo is coming on shore, which is water, because everything, school implies fish and all that. We're underwater. And then the baby is going to come out, get a birth certificate from the doctor, and now it's here. It's registered. It's got its shots just like an animal. And now through taxes and this schooling that we had over here, the phony schooling based off the demise, of human beings and whatever direction they go, the Vatican, which owns the American corporation, are going to make a lot of money off of that child. And truthfully, because it comes down a canal, the ship does, the baby comes down a canal, vaginal canal, it's all the same. It's delivering. This is delivering a load. The woman's delivering a load. Over here, you're going to have different color, different shape babies. On the cargo, you're going to have different color, different shape cargo. And then what's going to happen is in time, it's written down. People have said it. In time, the hospitals were built for population control. These death doctors that y'all are created. If you're watching my video right now, I know who you are. I know what the fuck y'all do. I know what you do. It's not something you just share with somebody because it's insane how these people have created. Because when you create all those elements, what you do is you eradicate that plant. And in time, since we are cargo, we're slaves. It's what we are. We have federal tax ID number and all that shit. What was I fixing to say? Something very important. But anyways, whenever you create, you eradicate that plant. And then you introduce poisons. Okay? You introduce poisons. Alright? You slowly change the chemical structure of the human body. And then you create these careers around this, which are lies, because they destroy us. And then you already own the schools, universities. And now what you have is you have a medical, because scripture is within us. If we know how to take care of ourselves, then we don't need the pharmacies. Then all of y'all's careers are gone. All the structures gone. Because they're not curing anything. See, I'm in this to cure. I'm not getting paid any money, going back to the initial diagram. Over here, you go for different reasons. I help for different reasons. The motives are two different directions. See, I'm studying all this stuff because we are an image of God. Our bodies are temples. And we cannot think for shit under the influence of this, because they've created this to be the know-it-alls when you don't know anything. You don't. You've been given a medical industry designed based off of the destruction of human beings. And I've talked to a lot of them. They're like, man, we don't try to get them better. No, you don't. It's all a big Ponzi scheme. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme can ever put together. All countries, banks, everybody's involved. Everybody. Skull and Bones is behind all this shit with the hospitals. And then they say that was some shit created out of the French Revolution, which are some fucking crazy people. People you don't want to mess with. That you don't never hear about or see or anything. You just hear people dying. And it's like, damn, how'd they die? They got them because people like me. And it's like, I don't give a shit. Because truthfully, the ones that know, they want to see what comes out of me to see how the people react. But it's just like anything else. They know they ain't going to say shit. They know they ain't going to do nothing because that makes them right. When the experience, you have no experience is my whole point. At any of it. You don't have no experience with withdrawals and hangovers, anything. It's what. Let me go in here and study my book and find out what medicine that I can prescribe them. You know, when it's the end result of what we put in. Bipolar is a result of television, modified foods, sugars, obesity. You know, all that shit plays a huge role in it. And the more that we're obese, alcoholic, addicts, and all that shit like that, then the more this thrives. And it's based off of the destruction of us. You know, there has to come a point to where in the medical industry, see, doctors, it's about money now. You used to not be. You know, it used to be about curing people. And now this vaccine that everybody's just insane about because it's the same recipe. Cannabis. You know, it's outlawed. And see, and when they outlawed it, listen to me, doctors, if you made it this far in this video. The same country that allowed our ancestors to grow hemp, our great-great-great-grandparents to grow hemp and marijuana and to use it, the same people, we grow hemp to give it to the government for our taxes. And they created and built like water containers and shit, war clothes and stuff. Yeah. So if they did it then, why ain't they still doing it now? Well, they got what they wanted out of us, came back after the wars and said, oh, fuck you, it's illegal now. Yeah, we've got pills coming. And do you realize people like me standing up right now against everything did the same thing and they locked them up, took their property and everything. Is that fucking free? No. No, it's not. And people, hey, Google, it's like that's your government. Google is a liar. It's Satan. Everywhere you look is meant to destroy us. You know, you have to obey the laws of the land. It's insane, Christians. The medicine will say this is it. This kills people. But yet it's the Lord's medicine. Well, you don't know how they have to take it right. Would Jesus make anything that kills people on accident? No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. And then you find out that blessed are the unborn, for they not know sin. That's your verse for the abortion people. Oh, well, blessed are the unborn, for they don't know sin. See, when you study the endocrine system, you know, your pineal and pituitary, adrenochrome, adrenal gland, and all that shit, they suck that stuff out and ingests, so to speak, short way, and ingest someone's soul, baby preferably. Because it's insane and it's real. And these structures were built for that eventually. You have no idea the weapons that you're getting hit with to give you flu-like symptoms, because that's all it is. Some of y'all's been inside forever. You wash your hands all day long, rub that shit all over you. You fucking gotten 3 vaccines. You're doing everything right, but you're always sick. It's real, Matt. It's like what's real is you fucking killing yourself, rubbing that shit all over you. Where's that at in Scripture? It's not. I can tell you what is in there. 4 books that says there's plants and everything out there to heal everything and to cure everything, but you got to do it. See, when we don't learn the muscular system and the circulatory and all that, then we don't know what we're doing. We have no idea how to take care of ourselves, and that's by design. I'll tell you what's more important than anything, though, Matt. We need to learn this. That's right. We're going to learn that. Why? Well, because we have to learn space at such a young age. See, at the age that we learned this, we could know everything in this. And you know I'm fucking right, too. The time that we spent on that bullshit, we could have been knowing this. You know, the brain. All these different functions, the thalamus, you know, the temporal lobe, the midbrain, the pituitary gland, the medulla oblongata, the vagus nerve, you know, the 4th ventricle, you know, all this different stuff, and how the nervous system branches out from the vagus nerve, and how cool that is, and how important it is to eat good, because you're fucking killing yourself, and we are. The more modified shit that we have in us, the more it affects the brain. The more that we sit here and look at our gadgets, the more that we destroy our vertebrae, spinal cord, and fluid. Then we've got to go to the people that went to the fancy schools and universities, because we've been given shit to kill ourselves with, and then they make a lot of money and think that they're doing good, but they're not. They don't know what they're doing, is my whole point. And I'm not mad at you, and I'm not, hopefully you're not mad at me, but I'm the kind of guy that calls a spade, not because it's black, but because it could be a red fucking spade or a pink, but it's a spade regardless of what it is. You can't keep ignoring things. Listen, do you know how many black people die every year from accidental? Oh, they had to have a knee surgery, go in, granny get some Roxy's, and then dead that night because her body could not take that Roxy. But nobody ever goes at these people except me, and I get ignored because I'm learning the real side of healing and curing us, and the real lies that we've fallen into because money. Look at my career, look at my status, and it's like we capitalize off death. I've spent a lot of money to do some snow cones, and I feel horrible. I told a guy today, the pastor, and I said, I feel bad about it because it's not good for children, But I said, here's the deal, is I had to go through it and look at where I'm at now. I did eat a lot of sugar, and I drink coffee now, but it's got to go. Slowed down a lot, dipping too, but at the same time, we have to go through some shit first to come out of it. The worst thing to do is to go through life thinking you're just fucking perfect, right, smartest person ever, because you're the one that's going to give everything you got to keep going in this communist society that's already here. Your job and hospital can't be wrong, and it is. It's every bit of it's wrong. It's based off the more pathetic that we are, the bigger it grows. And when everybody takes a vaccine, who capitalizes? The pharmaceutical industry. It's controlled. Blood. Y'all should know how important our blood is, doctors. It's all foreign substances. It's not real. The plants are gone. This is not real. When we had plants, we're in fucking perfect shape. We're not dying. We've had this and we're dying. We call the Lord's medicine. It's the Lord's medicine. I'm a pastor. Vote for me. I'm political, even though that's not in there. They're not for Jesus. Yeah, I voted for the lesser evil. You're insane. Go jump off a cliff. But it's my whole point is we should know this, because when you learn this at a young age, you know what not to ingest and to take in that damages the brain and the vertebrae, and how important it is to, exercise and look up. Sorry. Here's milk and all this other shit modified. We want to destroy the inside of you. So by the time you're 13, 14, you're going to be going to the doctor getting diabetes medication and shit. Oh, but that's genetics. We ain't never had a chance. And then it takes somebody like me that's gone through that shit, and then to sit down with some of y'all that's gone through your shit in time for you to listen to an alcoholic, like a lot of them have, and to say, all right, let's talk. Because some of y'all have to start making plans on, we have to help people. We have to combine our knowledge. You've got the whole Vatican side. You've got all that shit. Now it's time to come over here and learn some of this stuff in here that's not on these charts, that's within here, and how important all this is, and how it really works together, and how it never fucking works when all this shit like this is in there, and everything that's modified. You have Christians now thinking that obesity, no matter how big you are, does not affect their organs. I've had so many, oh no, Jesus made us, it's not an image of God, Matt, it's like the likeness. And I said, okay, but this is not from Jesus. So what you're saying is that Jesus is stupid and man's smarter. And the plants that he made for us that kept people well, they're bad. Even though it's been around forever, ever since the beginning. This has been around for 100 years, maybe a little bit longer. That's it. And it's killed more people than everything combined. But we just can't see it. Humanity was doing just fine until them penises showed up over here with all their money and their want careers. You know, they're fake-ass Saturnalia universities. It's what they are. It goes into Saturn. Everything does. Saturn and Ra. Remember, Ra. That's who. Ra and El. That's the sun and Saturn and Fa. Serpent. Because brain, Ra. You know, Thomas the Train. The word Thomas can go into Saturn. Thomas the Train. You know, train, Saturn, Ra. It's everywhere, man. It is everywhere. The girl that's the new ref, her name's Sarah Thomas. Her husband's name is Brian. Yeah, Brian, because Brian is what? Brain. Raw. Yeah, because they're telling you through, you know, the Super Bowl that we have control of the brain because we never taught you, and we've eradicated what was given to you by Jesus. But you're so stupid now because we've dumbed you down through the medications that were never meant for a human being. And now we're fixing to get stuck with mandatory vaccines in a free country to corrupt the rest of us while these people make a lot of money based off the destruction of us. And until they fucking stand up and get a hold of me, then it will never stop because their selfish lives are more important than admitting that an alcoholic has smoked them. And I love you. You don't know how important all this shit is. I mean, I know how important it is. It works together, but how electric it is, and how what we consume is what gives us life. What we take that is not natural is what gives us death. Slowly. Always showing symptoms. You can get the vaccine, but still get it and spread it. Well, then why the fuck get it? It's what? Herd immunity, that means cattle. Can't put it together because you're on benzos. Oh, I feel good. Let's get rid of them. Oh, no. Wonder how many of y'all would get nervous if I said, I'm president, we're eradicating every fucking thing. We're burning down all those structures. Think about how many people are like, oh, no. The most pathetic, miserable people would be scared of getting rid of some shit that's killing them. Yeah. Anyways, I love you.